On today's lesson, and we can write down number 12 over here, we will be graphing parallel and perpendicular lines. I'm not too sure if we're going to have time for more slope formula, and that will be, if not, then that will be done next class. Let's take a look at the instructions, because the instructions are going to be the same throughout this whole packet. Write the slope-intercept form of the equation of the line described. So at the end of all the calculations that we're going to do, we need to come up with this type of answer, y equals mx plus b, which we have been doing the past two classes. Okay, I'm going to show you the algebraic way. We're going to plug in some numbers, and then afterwards, let's also graph it on number 2. Then that way you guys have a visual representation of what you guys are solving for. Let's take a look at number 1. This line that we have to make, it has to go through point 3, 1, and it needs to be parallel to this line, y equals negative 2 over 3x plus 1. Students, what do you guys know about parallel lines? Do they intersect? Do they not intersect? They do not intersect at all. So that was from your previous courses all the way back to elementary school. So we need to have lines that kind of just look like this. Okay, they shouldn't be intersecting at all. A couple of shortcuts for the parallel. So this is a mathematical symbol for parallel, so it'll be like 2 slashes like that. Or some books and teachers like to put 2 slashes that are vertical like that. So that could also be our shorthand, not shortcut, sorry, shorthand for parallel. This can be divided into 3 steps. I'll show you step number 1 right now. Step number 1. So to do this algebraically, if we want a line that's parallel to this line that's given to us right over here, it needs to be following the same direction as the line prescribed. So does this mean that we're going to get a different slope, or should we get the same slope? It has to be the same slope. So step number 1, get the same slope. Take a look at your original equation or function. One of them is your slope. Is it the 1 or is it the negative 2 over 3? How can you tell it's the negative 2 over 3? It's by the x. Not because it's a fraction, because sometimes a fraction will be over here. It's always by the x. So it is 1 negative 2 over 3. We are going to graph this. What does negative 2 mean again? Do you go 2 up or 2 down? 2 down and 3 to the right, no matter what. We'll graph it a little bit later. Step 2. Once you get the same slope, because we're going to use that a little bit later, we're going to use y equals mx plus b to find b. So we are using some past knowledge that we've done in our previous courses, in our previous lessons. Students, going from what we know, where can we get our y and x value from? Like where? The coordinates 3 and 1. So this is your x, and this is your y. Let's go ahead and plug them in. So the y, I'm going to scratch that off. What number is y now? 1 equals, what is the m that we're going to use? Negative 2 over 3 times, what is the x that we're going to use? 3, right over here. And we don't know the b or the y-intercept. Okay? So step 1, we're going to get the same slope. Step 2, we're going to plug in x and y as well, and plug that in into your y equals mx plus b. We have done this work before, but let's just go ahead and still do the work. 1 equals, I'm going to do this one by hand, and then I think the next couple ones I'll do it by calculator. Okay, you guys have told me we can put the 3 over 1 to make it look like a fraction. If you're going to do this by hand, what can you cross off over here? The 3's, yes. This becomes a 1, this becomes a 1. 3 divided by 3 is 1. So those are your new numbers now. I don't have room. A4, class, what is negative 2 times 1? Negative 2, that's on the top. A4, what is 1 times 1 on the bottom? 1. And you guys have told me that dividing by 1 is going to be the same thing on the numerator. So this is going to be negative 2. Now this looks like a simpler equation from the start of week 1 of our class. Students, how shall we solve for b? What should we do on both sides? Add 2 on both sides. The opposite of negative 2 is positive 2. The reason why we do this is to leave b by itself. And then I think we know this one, 1 plus 2 is 3. Students, some students actually stop over here, but are we actually done? We're not done. We need to do a step 3, and that should be our last step. Remember, our final answer needs to be here, y equals mx plus b. So we have our new equation. You guys tell me what to write. Y equals negative 2 over 3x plus 3. This is nice, but from time to time, I will also ask you guys, it won't be on every single problem today, but from time to time, I will ask you guys, please graph these 2 lines from the previous problem to show visually that you're actually solving for parallel lines so that we have a visual. If they're not parallel lines, then something was wrong in the calculation. So we're going to graph these 2 lines over here, the original that we got and our answer. If you don't have different colored pens or pencils, it's okay. Make one dotted, dashed, and make another one solid line. So this first one over here, I'm going to make it in, I guess, teal green, whatever this color is. Again, if you don't have colors, don't worry about it. Make one dashed, make one solid. Let's review how to graph. Which one is your y-intercept? Negative 2 over 3 or 1? It is the 1. So we're going to start at 0, 1. And you guys had told me that the slope is negative 2 over 3. We're going to go 2 down and 3 to the right. So let's go ahead and do that. 2 down, 3 to the right. 2 down, 3 to the right. Once you guys are done graphing that one, we have to graph our answer as well. So our answer was this. What is our y-intercept? Is it negative 2 over 3 or is it the 3? It is a 3. So 0, 3, and it should be the same slope because we use the same slope. Negative 2 over 3, so that means 2 down, 3 to the right as well. So let's go ahead and start at 0, 3, which is here. Always start on your y-axis. That's why it's called y-intercept. 2 down, 3 to the right. 2 down, 3 to the right. Right. So if drawn or graphed correctly, to the straightest possible scale that you guys can, we should be making, mine is a little crooked, but we should be making parallel lines. There's also one more condition that needs to be met. We had said on number 1, this new line needs to go past 3, 1. So let's take a look at our new line. Is it passing 3, 1 in red? Where is 3, 1? Ah, right over here. So yes, it is passing at 3, 1 on our new line. So we have met all the criteria for what we had wanted to solve for. 2 parallel lines that don't intersect, and this new line passes at 3, 1, whatever the point that they want us to get. Students, any questions on the 3-step solving and the visual representation of what you're solving for? Any questions? Any questions? Okay. So yeah, I'll be teaching the full page, and then I'll tell you guys what numbers to do in a little bit. Okay, if there are no questions. Again, same instructions, write the slope-intercept form of the equation, so we need to get this at the end. But this time around, what does PERP mean, you guys? Yeah, go ahead, yeah. Kira. Perpendicular. To prevent us from writing perpendicular, how many letters is that? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13 letters. This is going to be our shorthand symbol for perpendicular. It's like an upside down capital T. Like that. To solve this, it's still going to be 3 steps. But your first step is just going to be a little bit different. Because we're not asking for parallel lines, this cannot be the same slope. We need to do something with this slope. For perpendicular lines, we need the negative reciprocal of the slope. We need so we can't use the same slope. For perpendicular lines, it's just a little bit different. Look at your line right now. Is the slope 5 or 4? 4. We're going to make this as 4 over 1 to make it as a fraction for right now. Now, let's just follow the words negative reciprocal. So let's go ahead and make this negative. I'm just doing this in 2 steps. So now it becomes negative 4 over 1. Okay, so I'm just following along. Okay, so negative. What does reciprocal mean again from your previous courses? Here again.
Flipping over a fraction.
Just flipping over a fraction. So instead of negative 4 over 1, and you can put the negative on top, it will just be negative 1 over 4. So keep that negative, you're just flipping the numbers around. So this is your new m, or your new slope that you're going to use. You're not going to use the 4 because that's going to be a parallel line. Once you guys are done with that, really to be honest, then it's going to be the same steps as numbers 2 and 3. So that's the only difference between parallel and perpendicular. Y equals mx plus b. Students, where are our x and y values? Where is it at? The coordinates. This is your x and this is your y. Okay. You guys tell me what to write on this next line. Ready, go. 3 equals negative 1 over 4 times negative 4 plus b. Oh, I did say that I was going to show this on the calculator. Oh yeah, I'll do it right after. Okay. What can you cross off? The 4s, yes. So the 4s become 1 and 1. And we just got to be careful because what is negative times negative? Positive. So this needs to be positive. Positive what, you guys? Positive 1. Okay, because I'm recording this, there were some people that were absent on A1, that's why. Okay, so once again, one more time. There are going to be a little bit more complicated fractions in your guys' classwork homework. So I just kind of want to repeat the process again, especially for those who are not as strong with fractions as some of the rest of the people. And don't worry about it. So again, to type this up over here, please use parentheses. Parentheses. Negative 1 divided by, oh my gosh, negative 1 divided by 4 times parentheses negative 4. Okay, so really type it as is, as what you see on your setup. Then your TI-84 calculator will take care of it for you guys. Okay, then that comes out to 1. Okay, so like I said, your fractions might be a little bit more complicated on your classwork homework. Don't be afraid to use a calculator if you cannot do the fractions. Okay, so anyway, that is 1. What's the opposite of positive 1? We're going to negative 1 or minus 1 on both sides. B is equal to 2. You had told me we're not done. What is the final answer, you guys? Y equals negative 1 over 4 x plus 2. Like I said, not always all the time on the classwork homework that you'll have to graph every single time. It's just only a couple problems that you'll have to graph. And just to make sure that they're making perpendicular lines. So let's go ahead and graph our original function or original line first. Where's your y-intercept at? 5, yes. So I'm going to write it over here, 0, 5. And then this slope is 4 over 1. What does 4 over 1 mean? 4 down or 4 up? 4 up, 1 to the right. Uh-oh. Do we have room for 4 up, 1 to the right? So again, if we don't have room for 4 up, 1 to the right, what do you guys do again? Go down.
Fully negative.
Fully negative. 4 down, 1 to the left. This is, again, the only time you're doing left is when you don't have room. Okay? So we don't have room to go this way. We're going to go this way. 4 down. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1 to the left. 1, 2, 3, 4 down. 1 to the left. Oh, sheesh. Oh, I made a mistake in A1 and didn't catch it. Oh, that's okay. All right, once you guys graph that, let's also afterwards graph the answer, and I'll do that in red. Your y-intercept over here is 0, 2. So I'm going to plot it right now, 0, 2 on the y-axis. And then our slope. What does negative 1 over 4 mean? 1 what? 1 down, and then 4 to the right. So we're always going to the right no matter what, unless we don't have room. 1. 1, 2, 3, 4. Maybe we can probably go up 2. Always thank you for your patience. It looks like we've done it correctly. I'm going to tilt my paper like this. In your previous math courses, when you guys do perpendicular lines, what types of angles are you supposed to be making? 90-degree angles all around. And it does look like, we don't need a protractor, but this should be a nice bet. It looks like we do have 90-degree angles all around. Okay. So that was our first condition. And actually, also another condition, what point was the new line supposed to pass through? It's supposed to pass through -4, 3. So let's go ahead and see if it does pass at -4, 3. Where is that anyway? -4, right here, -4, 3. Yes. So our new line passes at -4, 3, and it is perpendicular to our original function, our original line. Okay. So we've done what we were supposed to have done. Okay. Students, any questions on the difference between parallel lines, solving it, graphing it, perpendicular lines, solving it, graphing it? Any questions? Before I let you guys go for round 1 of classwork, let's just practice creating negative reciprocals again just one more time, and then we'll make a summary, and you guys will do some classwork homework. So, I'm going to make this 3/1, and let's just do it step by step. Make it negative. It's going to be -3/1, and then what's the reciprocal? -1/3. Okay, so that is your negative reciprocal. Up next, let's make this -3/1. If it's already negative, then to make it negative, this turns into +3/1. Now flip it, 1/3. Some of you guys could actually do 2 of those steps in your head. So, what would be the negative reciprocal of 1/3? -3/1. Nice. Again, if you need the middle steps, go ahead and do it. But if you can do it all straight through, that is nice too. What is the negative reciprocal of -2/9? 9/2. +9/2. So again, if you need the middle steps like this, go ahead and do it, okay? Let's summarize. To find another line that is parallel, you use the same slope. To find another line that is perpendicular, you use the 2 words, negative reciprocal. Always thank you for your patience. We only got 2 rounds of notes today, so the first round is done, but it is classwork time. Please do now numbers 7 through 14. I will also pass out the answer key per table so that you guys can check your work. Do numbers 7 through 14 right now.